You're learning how to be movie stars.
All right, that's a coffee. It's a coffee talk. Coffee talk.
Coffee talk.
It is a coffee talk.
It is a coffee talk.
Well, good afternoon, Mr. Jason.
I guess good afternoon to you too, Mr. Craig.
Yeah. Have yourself some
Yeah. Have yourself some what?
pre-energy, pre-workout. Did you have yourself some pre-workout? With
Yes.
your coffee. Good.
Yeah, I did.
Well, that should
What
take
were we-
effect in 5 minutes.
We were talking the other day about not being good enough. But what was that? Where did that originate? Like, what were we talking about? What was the subject that came around?
You really put me on the spot because I can't remember anything. I mean, let's be real.
Oh. But I remember that conversation that we were talking about and thinking, so the gist of it was thinking that you're not good enough
Yeah.
is what will stop you from being quote unquote good enough. But it wasn't about being good enough. That's
I think I remember.
Okay. What
Was it on
that?
the Elite Dudes call? When we were talking to Josh? Josh Fanko?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Which is actually
Yeah.
an episode that may have aired by the time you hear this or not. Or maybe not. We don't really know. We just give them to Ron and Corey. Well, Ron.
That's right.
I'm
That's
just
right.
kidding, Corey.
So here's the funny thing. We were talking about talk to Josh.
Yeah. What
Josh
a good
was
dude.
saying, what a good dude. And he was
Uh-huh.
saying how grateful he was that we kind of pioneered some of the whole teledudes process and stuff like
Yeah.
that. But it was just super awesome for him to say. And it was like one of those things that a lot of the times, I remember when I first saw Josh, and he's a good dude.
Yeah.
He looks like he has an air about him that he's very like smart, methodical, and I remember I was speaking in front of him.
Uh-huh.
And I remember my first thought of him was that, he's got it all together. And I guess I was a little insecure.
Uh-huh.
I mean, anytime you get up in front of people, you kind of, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's just funny. And then he was saying what he thought when we first did that Agencies Ignite event. And it was just funny how he thought one thing,
Yeah.
I thought another thing.
Yeah.
And it was like the opposites, right?
It was opposite. And it
It's
just
so-
shows you, like, everybody's has this thing in their mind that is kind of, well, it's the ego is pushing them the wrong direction, right? Or the
Yeah.
anti-ego. I don't know what it is. The little voice, right? But that little voice, I mean, what the heck? Like, I mean, crazy. When he brought that up, I thought, wow. I mean, I just went in there and was blobbity blobbing like I am right
Yeah.
now.
That's right. Yeah,
But
it is funny.
It could
It
really
is funny how you think those things.
it could derail you though, right? Because you could just go down the rabbit hole with that. Imagine
Yeah,
you go, oh, I don't feel good, and then you start coming up with excuses, and
And I definitely always, you always question, like if you're going to get up in front of people and speak, you
Uh-huh.
always question, man, is this like, you know what I mean? Like if you're good enough, or like, I don't know, like, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
a little there's always going to be a little bit of self-doubt
yeah,
within new experiences or something like that. And it's like whether or not you listen to the self-doubt and go on that in that direction, on that tangent kind of deal, or if you're just going to say, you know what, who cares? Maybe
right,
I'm not good enough, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to do
Maybe-
it, and I'm going to do my best.
yeah, and maybe it's just being aware of it. I think now there's at least a certain level of awareness now about that,
Mhm.
especially us talking about it. And hopefully anyone, the couple people that are listening, maybe they will now also be aware, because, I'll go to some setting and be thinking, oh, what do they think of me or whatever. And you're all wrapped around in your head about that. It's like, oh, I'm doing that thing where I'm thinking about that. Everybody does it. Big
Right.
deal, right? Move on, goofball, and just
Yeah.
do your thing.
That is where our mind the gravity goes, right? It always goes to what that other person thinks or what that other person, and it's like, at the
Who
end of the day,
cares?
who cares? Did you
Who
do your
cares?
best?
Yep.
Maybe you didn't. Well, how can
Maybe
you do
not.
it better next time?
Do a
How
little
can you do
better.
better starting now?
Yeah.
Right. So
By showing up.
so
I mean, you say it all the time. What's the hardest part of the race? Getting on the track.
getting on the track for sure. 100%.
Although
Yeah,
I don't know, if you're running an ultra marathon like Josh, I think the hardest part is running an ultra marathon.
Yeah.
That's just too
but
much.
No, that is, you know what though? Think about it. Like even the thought of that, you're done, right?
Right.
You're
I'm
like,
out.
"Oh,
I checked
no."
out.
Yeah.
No way. I can't.
100%.
My brain is telling me that I can't do it. Maybe I have to do
Right.
it. I'm not going to commit to that. Nope. And that's not just the little voice telling me. That's just realistic. There should be no 90-year-olds doing the ultra marathon. I mean, come on. It's a health thing.
Yeah. It's funny because it really is always, you can't do anything until you think you can.
True.
Like if you don't think you can do something and you attempt to do it, you're most likely going to fail at it.
Yeah.
You can't really succeed at something until you think you can.
Yep.
It's funny. Yeah.
That goes to anybody, right? That goes to your sales
Yeah.
agents. Like take your sales agents, right? When you first start and you put them on the phone before any training and you just make them dial to see if they'll actually make phone calls. Like,
Right.
like what do they do if they actually are able to do a quote? It's just they rattle off the numbers, they give a price, and they hope that it's less, right? There's an untrained sales producer. So they have to believe that it's in the client's best interest and that they are selling a better product than the one that they're quoting against in order to sell it and have it be more and believe in that thing and really sell it with passion, right?
Right.
I mean, I even went through it with one of she's your favorite or you're her favorite, the famous Patty, about that, where we were talking
Does she really
about
not
something.
like me?
It was the purse thing. She just doesn't. Yeah. Maybe we should
But
find.
she doesn't like me.
We should find the recording of that and play it on here.
But she
sometime.
doesn't though, right? Is that the?
I don't
So
know
you
if
think-
she. I don't think that she
I
does
think
or
you do.
doesn't.
think you
I don't.
just let the cat out of the bag. Mr. Craig.
I just don't think that there's enough information. So she said something
you're a
about
politician.
the price, right? The price, this and that, and then I rebutted with the typical, this, and explained, no, well, you have to be able to present it in this way, and you have to believe in it. You have to want to, all this stuff, and then she said, something, and I just said, oh, you don't believe in it. You just don't believe in this. I mean, you're not going to be able to do it until you actually care and believe. And then she
Right.
kind of thought about it for a second. I mean, she goes back and forth on that, but it's the same thing. It's why we do the daily meetings, right? It's why all the stuff that's in the PPC, all of those things, it's why they're all there, because every one of them is critical.
Right.
You need to be able to give the speech. How many agents that have been on Teledudes or are on Teledudes have actually gone up in front of their team and given the speeches? I'm curious. And those
I don't
that
know,
did
but I'll
it,
tell you one thing.
Yeah.
Yes. That's where I was going to go. Yeah.
what? You say it.
Those
Go
that
ahead.
did it. Those that did it succeeded.
Right. And those that
Yep.
didn't do it, why didn't they do it? Not, I didn't know it was there, but why didn't they do it? Because the little voice in their head said, oh, I don't understand this. It's mapped out. Like we wrote it out. You could actually read word for word exactly what to say. Put in your little Mad Lib of what one little piece, 1 second of work. You could read it. You could stand up there with the paper and actually read it.
I'm going to counter that. Maybe we didn't sell them hard enough on the reason why they needed to do it. Maybe they don't believe they need to do it because we didn't.
We didn't make them believers.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Look at that epiphany right here on Coffee Talk. but that's true, right? We have to, everybody has to be convinced. We talk about how sales isn't everything. I ran my sales meeting this morning because my sales manager has put in his time, but I was in there doing that. And one of them said that, like one of them said, everything is sales. And I'm just like, wow, the message is just like, it's working, like they're getting it. And I mean, from convincing your wife to have dinner with you to whatever, right?
Yep.
It's sales.
Everything is sales.
Yeah. Where are you going to go for dinner?
We're definitely going to continue this conversation because I just had this conversation earlier today.
Yeah.
With our service manager, and it's incredible. Like when you really start going deep on it, it's incredible how every part of life there is a sales element to it.
Sure. But nobody wants to be sold. So they have to be the ones that come up with the idea. So we have to help guide them. We're guides.
Yes. Yeah.
We're like guides.
You're the guide.
Guide. You're the guide. Guy.
And that's...
Is that a Coffee Talk?
That's a Coffee Talk.
All right.
Go to theidudes.com. THE, the letter I, DUDES.com. And on there, you will see a bunch of stuff that we're doing that we're super excited about. So www.theidudes.com. Check it out.
It is pretty cool.
We'll cliffhang it because there's no reason to spoil what's there.
Yeah, no spoiler alerts on this show. Except Jack dies on the Titanic. So sorry about that. If you haven't watched Titanic. We'll see you. Bye.
Darn you.